Hi and welcome to Vintage Doll Collector. Today I want to share with you the latest issue of Doll News magazine that I just got in the mail. The doll on the cover is a rare Lynchy doll that was given to the United Federation of Doll Clubs Museum in Kansas City in honor of Loretta Nardone, who was president of UFDC from 2017 to 2019. Doll News is always a good magazine, but I enjoyed this issue in particular because there are several articles about vintage dolls. And if you like antique dolls too, there are some great articles that you will enjoy. The winter issue of Doll News always has information about last year's national convention as well as the one coming up this year. This year the convention will be held in Dallas, Texas, and the theme is the Fabulous 50s. This article is about the cover doll and other dolls that have been given to the UFDC Museum to honor outgoing presidents. In this issue there are several short articles, each focusing on an individual doll. This one is about this 11.5-inch pink-tinted China head. This great article by Wolsey Ackerman details the composition Judy Garland dolls made by Ideal in the 1930s to tie in with the Wizard of Oz movie release. The photos show other rare Wizard of Oz collectibles too. A lot of this information I have not seen in any magazine before. Here's my Holy Grail doll, a wooden Joel Ellis doll made in Springfield, Vermont in the 1870s. While I mostly collect vintage dolls, I do love some antiques too. This is a French doll by Francois Gaultier. And this cloth lady was made by German doll maker Ilse Ludica. Here's a very good article by Jane Foster about Nancy Ann Style Show dolls. I've seen plenty of articles on these dolls in the past, showing their fabulous gowns, but here Jane pictures several of the rare dolls that were sold in day dresses too. I had never seen these before. The subject of this focus on hard plastic is American Character's Tiny Tears doll. The Steiff lady, Rebecca Kaufman, brings us this article on Steiff's mid-century animals. This is about a program that was held at the UFDC Museum. And here's a story on the Junior Collector event at last year's convention. And some Junior Collector events of the past. One of the most important parts of the National Convention is the competitive exhibit room, where convention goers enter their dolls to be judged and win ribbons. You'll find rare and wonderful antique dolls here of every material. There are categories for vintage dolls as well. Here are some blue ribbon winners in the Madame Alexander categories. The categories change from year to year, but there's always a place for celebrity dolls. I love dolls in matching outfits. These are hard plastic Terry Lee and Jerry Lee dolls. Here are some Unita Dollykins. Barbie collectors have categories to enter too. These two categories are for Barbie's female and male family members. More info on the 2020 convention and an ad for the Ohio National Doll Show. I hope to get there someday. This article shows 1950s catalog pages of dolls. Several dolls by Sun Rubber are pictured. Yes, action figures are dolls too. This piece is about Mike Power, part of the G.I. Joe line by Hasbro. An interesting article for collectors of China head dolls, showing a timeline of what types of dolls were produced in each decade, along with what was happening in the world at the same time. China head dolls were produced in Germany over a long period of time. This is a Michael Lee doll made in Hong Kong in the second half of the 20th century. This story is about an exhibit from the last convention on antique Japanese fashion dolls. More convention info, more ads. There's usually a paper doll in each issue. This one is of Scoodles by Victoria Christopherson. More about the special exhibits at last year's convention. Wonderful vintage paper dolls. I'm going to have to really take a good look at these photos. A feature on the dolls made by South Dakota artist June Goodnow. More artist dolls. I'm not going to try and pronounce her last name. It's spelled Buysse. A cool little piece about a Jumeau doll that was rescued from the trash. These unusual dolls are from Bolivia. An excellent feature article by Barbara Stone, who was president of UFDC, about Vogue's Ginny doll. Great photos. Ginny was produced as a boy and girl in lots of matching outfits. Ginny had lots of furniture pieces available too. Here's an article about the reproduction French fashion dolls that are very popular now. A tribute to Susan Serkis, past president of UFDC, who passed away last year. R. John Wright and his wife Susan were recognized with a special exhibit at the convention last year. Back to the 50s with this little comic book put out by American Character, advertising Sweet Sue and Tiny Tears dolls. Toodles was another American Character doll. More info on the 2020 convention. I've been to one national convention. It was awesome but also exhausting. The magazine devotes several pages to show what some of the individual clubs are doing. Since Doll News is the official publication of UFDC, there's always some information on the business of the organization. Welcoming new members, awards of excellence, clubs with anniversaries coming up. Remembering members who have passed, and upcoming events at UFDC headquarters. That's all for the Winter 2020 issue of Doll News. To get the magazine, you have to become a member of UFDC. To find out more, visit their website at ufdc.org. Thanks so much for joining me today. To be notified when I have new videos posted, click the subscribe button and the little bell icon. See you next time.